Deftones, Cherry Waves, Easy Chords, Standard Tuning Method, Guitar Tabs, and Guitar Lesson. I'll play through all the different parts right at the beginning. After that, I'll go back through, give the full explanation for it all. Before we jump in, do me a big old favor, hit that subscribe button. It's the best way of letting me know you like this video and you want to see more Deftones stuff. And now, without further wait, let's get on into it. Okay, so once again, this is a easy chords standard tuning method here, and it works pretty well, I'd say. We kind of incorporate some of the lead parts into the overall chord. So for this intro and verse, all right, we have our, what's usually just two kind of lead guitar things happening there, but the overall chord's like this A vibe going on, and we just strum a normal A chord. All right, so we really want to make sure we hit this open E with it. All right, so we have the open A, 2 on the D, 2 G, 2 B, and then that high open E, because that note's kind of part of that overall lead thing that's happening. All right, and then from there, we just basically lift off of the B and just make it an open, keep the open A, 2 D, 2 G, and try to emphasize the open B now. Okay, so we went from... All right, so those are kind of our lead notes there over this overall chord. So A to A sus2, and then we go to this interesting kind of A7 sus thing happening here, where basically we just, that ring that we took off of the B there, now we can just make it the 3 on the D, and just kind of worry about the A string through B string here, leave the B open. Open A, 3 on the D, have that 2 on the G, and an open B. All right, really wanting to emphasize the 3 on the D. All right, and just before, that second measures out, we lift off the 2 of the G to make it just an open G now. And then just, keep everything else the same, the open A, 3, D, open G now. And you can even throw in the open B with it. All right, and we're emphasizing that open G. So, the overall pattern here was... All right, and then we just have our A shapes over the top of it all. For the pre-chorus section, we just basically eighth note strum an A chord. All right, and you can just kind of go from, say like the open A, 2 on the D, G, and B. Just let that roll, and just strum it out. Good 4 measures, and then the very end of it, we just kind of do some dead string, something like that. For the chorus, mostly just bouncing between 2 chords, kind of a D5 here. You can do a full D chord if you like. I think just to the 5 is probably just fine. Just the open D, 2 on the G, 3 on the B, and just kind of a same, down strum, 8th note strum here. Okay, a couple measures for that one. Now we just switch to a B minor, so 2 on the A, 4 on the D and G, 3 on the B. Strum that out, a couple measures. And then we just bounce between that D to the B minor about 3 times. Start to do it mostly for the 4th time, like we just have that D. But we throw this little curve in there where we do, at that middle beat of that 2nd measure, we just kind of jump up to like a F sharp minor here, so just barring the 2s, 4 on the A and D, and then maybe just throw in like the 2 on the G with it. Worry about that really, and it's just hit it once and let it hold a couple beats, and then we just hit the B minor to finish and just let it ring. And for this interlude section, we're trying to incorporate like the overall chord with what the little keyboard line is, the. All right, and we just kind of want some A chord vibes over the top of it, so we'll just be strumming our A chord, having that ready to go, where we're open A, 2 on the D, G, B, and once we strum that, then we do our little 2, 3, 2 on the B. All right, and then we want to hit this 2 on the G for the A note, and we can even throw an open B under it just to get that sus2 vibe under. Right, and then we land on our A7 sus2, which is basically we want that 3 on the D, keeping the overall A tonality with it. So we got the open A, and you can throw in, say, like the 2 on the G under it. For the bridge, this is probably where we're going to sacrifice any of the drop tuning that we could have done, because there is kind of a low D power chord in there, but we can kind of, do a mid-voiced spot with it, and it's not too big of a deal. And initially, we just want to start with this kind of E minor, and so it's kind of a 1, 1, 2, 1. Right, and then at this point where we would want to get that low D power chord, we can just kind of hit it just enough by doing an open middle D and an open A, so you get this kind of voicing of a D5 power chord here. And it's just a brief kind of little transitional thing that happens. All right, something like that. And then we just land on this F power chord. So 1 E with the 3 on the A and D. Kind of hit the power chord, that much of it. And then once we hit that, we can kind of throw in some open G, B, and E strings under it. Makes it this kind of more exotic F chord that's going on. And basically we just cycle through that. At the very end we can throw in an additional little open A and D with it for the quick little transitional D power chord there. All right, and we just end the bridge by doing a real big E sus4 chord, which is almost looks like an A, but we're just doing open E, 2 on the A, 2 on the D, 2 on the G now, and then an open B and E. And it just strums that out a couple measures, and then just kind of resolves it to a regular E E major chord now. So just all we do is just change the 2 on the G to a 1, keep everything else the same, and just strum that out.